Good morning. Today we're going to talk about Joshua 20, and I'm actually going to read the whole chapter because it's a very short chapter. Um, it's about the cities of refuge. It says, Then the Lord said to Joshua, Tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge as I instructed you through Moses, so that anyone who kills a person accidentally and unintentionally may flee there and find protection from the avenger of blood. When they flee to one of these cities, they are to stand at the entrance of the city gate and state their case before the elders of that city. Then the elders are to admit the fugitive into their city and provide a place to live among them. If the avenger of blood comes in pursuit, the elders must not surrender the fugitive, because the fugitive killed their neighbor unintentionally and without malice aforethought. They are to stay in that city until they have stood trial before the assembly and until the death of the high priest, who is serving at that time. Then they may go back to their own home in the town from which they fled. So they set apart Kadesh in Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. East of the Jordan, on the other side of Jericho, they designated Bezer in the wilderness on the plateau in the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth and Gilead in the tribe of Gad, and Golan and Bashan in the tribe of Manasseh. Any of the Israelites or any foreigner residing among them who killed someone accidentally could flee to these designated cities and not be killed by the avenger of blood prior to standing trial before the assembly. So this is based upon a passage in Numbers, actually, where God gave them rules about how to handle people who committed murder or accidentally killed somebody. And this is Joshua talking about which cities would be, they designated which cities would be cities of refuge. So in the Jewish law, if you killed somebody and it was intentional, your life would be taken by the avenger of blood, who would be a family member of the person you killed. And that was legal. It wasn't considered murder. It was considered justice. But the cities of refuge, they were about from anywhere in the area, in the promised land where the Israelites lived. It was about a half a day's journey to any of the refuge cities. So if you were, screwing around and you accidentally pushed somebody and they fell and they hit their head and they died, or you were involved in working on something and somehow they were accidentally killed by your hand, but it wasn't an action of hate or intentional killing, you could go to one of these cities of refuge and present yourself at the gate and tell them what happened. They had to protect you until you could get a fair trial, basically. And so your options were stay in that city until they could have a fair trial. If you were found guilty, according to the commentary, you would be released to the person that wanted to avenge the death, and you would be killed. If you were found not guilty, you could stay in that city until the high priest from that city died, at which time you could go back to the place you lived. But if at any time you left the city, the avenger of blood could still come after you. So it was God's way of making sure that people who accidentally killed somebody without hating them or meaning to kill them, it was truly an accident, to get a fair trial, so they wouldn't just be killed unnecessarily. Which is pretty cool how God thought about, within the law, established a system where people could get a fair trial in a situation that obviously there would be a lot of anger and a lot of need and desire to avenge that death. According to the law, it allowed those people to be able to get a fair trial and have a city of refuge. There's a lot of symbolism in this too about how God is our refuge. How a lot of the names of these cities had meanings that are representative of who God is, Him being our refuge and a safe place and a protector. And we talk about how we can run to God, and He is our refuge. So it's some cool symbolism for us today as well. Thanks. Have a great day.